All right, grown-ups, it's just our time. I love the babies, but to help you, I gotta speak my mind. This segment's here to help you grow with book reviews, lessons, and things you'll be glad to know. If your little one's restless or looking to play, send them to my other playlist. The read-alouds there will brighten their day. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to the Teacher Lady Show. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Behind the Book. I'm Miss Erica, the Teacher Lady, your fairy godparent when it comes to sharing joyful stories and growing young minds. Now, every single week on the Teacher Lady Show, we have a new topic. And this week's topic is all about being brave and facing your fears. We want children to be courageous and to be willing to go after the things that make them nervous, okay? And of course, we're using picture books to be able to do so. On Monday, over on the Teacher Lady Reads playlist, we had an interactive read aloud. But today, we're going to be doing the behind the book review on this story. Now, on this review, I will be going over the glows, what I think was done well, the grows, what I think could have been done differently, who this book is for, and how do you use it as a resource to have a more robust conversation with your child around the topic of bravery. All in this episode of Behind the Book, where we go beyond the pages to get to the heart of the story. Summary in my own words. This is a story of Devi and her grandmother who pick berries late at night, okay? So they have to kind of go through the darkness and rely on their senses in order to lead them. It's about the time she spent with her grandmother and how anytime she was going to be scared, her grandmother helped her to be confident in where they were. It really is this almost love letter to her grandmother, this dedication and this reminder that you can face the hardest parts of your life if you have good people to face them with. For the take-home message in regards to the topic of bravery and facing your fear, I would say that when things are too hard, the best thing that you can do is phone a friend. You should have someone with you in the times that you are terrified, the times where you have to be brave, but you don't even know where to start. Community is essential because throughout the story where Devi could have been afraid or scared, it's late at night, it's dark. At this time, there is a lot of racism and it's just really, really hard to kind of navigate life with where she's from in Charlotte. And she was able to do so because of the support and the strength of her grandmother. And so I think the biggest take home message is, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. That quote probably summarizes the message of this book for me. Now, in terms of target age group, it's a pretty simple, straightforward book. In terms of the actual book, there is a portion in the back of the book that has a lot more information about Devi and her grandmother and their work as activists and the NAACP and things like that. But in the actual story, I could go 5 years old and up. You would be able to hold a conversation around this book. Who this book is for. This is a beautiful gift from like grandmother to granddaughter, granddaughter to grandmother. It is a beautiful gift for young people of color who need a reminder of connection and community. It's also a history book. So those children who are interested in social studies, those children who are interested in studying historical figures that they didn't know anything about, that would be a good gift for them, this book. And I say that because in the back of the book, which I might as well go into my glows because this is also one of the glows. But in the back of the book, you get to really learn about who Devi Johnson Roundtree is, who her grandmother is, what she contributed to society, and what helped her to be so brave. I mean, this lady faced so many fears and threats, and did so much work in order to fight for our civil rights. And so that is definitely a glow for me. I like the fact that this book is two-part. I like that there is the story of Debbie and her grandmother, navigating the night and cherry picking when the sun is down. But I also love that in the back, we get an idea of who these people were in real life. I also love that she is the author of the book and part author. And so these stories are told from her perspective. In terms of grows, it's a straightforward one for me. I would say the only grow is to clarify why they had to pick berries in the middle of the night. Why did they have to sneak around quietly? What was it that they were running from or nervous about? I think that piece would have taken it over for me, because there was a reason why they were waiting till the sun was down to go out and then kind of going home when the sun came back up. And in the back of the book, it does talk about some of the segregation and civil rights experiences that her and her grandmother faced. But the book itself, the story itself, does not tell us why they were out there that late. So for me, that was something that I would have wanted to know, but it in no way takes away from the power of the book and the importance of the messages that are being conveyed. In terms of discussion questions, I would definitely talk about why she was not afraid. So on the back of the book, it says, "The darkness isn't anything to be afraid of, child. If you wait just a little, your eyes will learn to see and you can find your way." There was a reason why, even though they're in the middle of this wilderness, it's dark, it's late, this is a time where segregation was very, very prevalent and all of these scary things. What was it about Debbie that caused her to be brave? Why was she okay being in that environment? And I think holding that conversation, because this week is all about bravery and facing your fears, will help your child to see and to start to understand that they can do hard things. You can do things that are uncomfortable. You can do things that are scary. You can be nervous and you can do them anyway. And if you build this toolkit so that when you face that hard thing that you just don't think you can conquer, if you build that toolkit of resources to help you, when that day comes, you'll already be prepared. Because in my opinion, the reason why I got this book for Bravery Week is because it took a lot of bravery to do what it is that her and her grandmother were doing. And that is just the berry picking part. That's not the civil rights activism part that's talked about in the back of the book. Okay. And the reason why they were able to do it is because there was community. Multiple women were going out to pick berries late at night. She was right by her grandmother. Her grandmother taught her how to navigate darkness. And there was just a lot of power in that. So I would bring all of these points up as discussion points in terms of the main story of the book. But I would also discuss in the back of the book, read these biographies, read these paragraphs about the people that are mentioned in the story, and talk about what it meant for them to be brave and for them to stand up for what it is that they believed in. Thank you so much for learning with me, for growing with me, for being part of this book community. I really do appreciate it. If you have not done so, be sure to check out the read aloud on the story, as well as there's a purchase link for you to get your copy. Also, I am an author and an illustrator, and I'm going to ask that you check out my work and check out my Pay It Forward initiative called the Empathy Library, where we get books to children in need on purpose by way of your generosity. Thank you so much for learning with me. Until next time, you remember to enjoy the moment or go be a joy in the moment. Bye.